Hey everybody, and welcome back to those of you who have been here before, and a very big welcome to those who are checking in for the very first time. In this first video, we look at the first bricks of building a better and positive relationship with teenagers. And it is said that accidents happen, but building better relationships with teenagers don't just happen. In order to build better relationships with teenagers, you need to be intentional. And in order for you to be intentional, you need a plan. Hey everybody, I'm Gareth Lingens, and this is Smells Like Teen Spirit. Over the next few videos, I'm going to take you through the steps you will need to take to create the master plan to build a better relationship with teenagers. I'm going to split the word plan up into 4 parts over 4 videos, using the letters P, L, A, and N. Let's get into that right now. So let me tell you a story as to how the content for this topic, plan, came about. I was preparing some of the content and equipment for my channel, and I was sending some messages to colleagues about some of the things I've been up to, and at one point, a colleague asked me what I was planning to do with all the equipment. I said to him, I plan to make a YouTube channel where I share my knowledge on how to build better relationships with teenagers. Now let me bring in a little side note to this story. This colleague of mine, who's actually a former pupil of the school that I teach at, a hockey player that I coached at a first team level, and who has gone on to study education and is now teaching maths alongside me at the same school. So this colleague I have taught, coached, and now I've been appointed his mentor at the school as he starts his first year of teaching. So back to the story. When I told him about my idea, he sent me another message saying that when I post my first video, I must send him a link. So I replied to him, only if you promise to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, which I encourage you to do. And then I said, of course I will, because he is one of those guys, and this is what I said to him, that could definitely make use of the knowledge that I'm going to give to build lasting and positive, impactful relationships with teenagers. His reply is what really floored me and gave me the light bulb moment for this first video. He said, 100%, and that's what I plan to do, my salam. That was it. A plan is half the battle won. Now, unlike my colleague, I wasn't as intentional as he was when I started out. In fact, when I started helping out at my church, I went in and taught 5 and 6 year olds at Sunday school. That didn't last long, but I tried something else, and that's how I ended up working with teenagers. Still didn't necessarily have a plan. And the rest is history, which I share in my first intro video, which if you haven't watched, go and check it out in the link below in the description section of this video. But like I said in my previous video, by 21, I knew this is what I was put on the planet to do. This was my purpose for living. From the point at which I realized I was put on this planet to make a difference in teenagers' lives, I've been focused on doing just that, and doing that no matter where I found myself, whether it was at a life skills college, the church, the classroom, or even the sports arena. I'm always looking for opportunities to build a positive, long-lasting relationship with teenagers that I have encountered along the way. So most importantly, my church experience has helped me model my interactions, my plan with teenagers, on the way Jesus interacted with his disciples. I think Jesus followed the 3 P's in his planning process. So in this video, I will just cover the letter P of the word plan, discussing the 3 P's I think Jesus followed when he built relationships with his disciples. And stay tuned for a little extra bonus tip right at the end of the video. So what does the letter P represent? The first thing that the letter P represents is position. In order to build a better relationship with teens, you need to be in position. You need to position yourself in order to do so. Jesus came to earth at a particular place in time and lived amongst mortal human beings. He positioned himself. Some of you might intentionally choose to put yourself in environments where you can build better relationships with teenagers, like teaching or coaching or being involved in a church. But for some of you who are parents who now have no choice and have found yourself already in the position of having a teenager in the house, eating all of the food in your fridge, You don't have to position yourself to build a better relationship with teenagers. You need to make it a priority. You see, and that's the second P. The second P represents priority. Jesus had a mission, and in that mission, he developed relationships. Those relationships became a priority in his life to fulfill his mission. In order to build better relationships with teens, you must make it a priority in your life. Making it a priority means you make a conscious decision to work at something that is important to you and to ultimately make it better so that it brings you some sort of fulfillment in your own life and of course theirs. From the age of 21, I made it a priority and made sure I positioned myself in such a way to make a difference in teenagers' lives as often as I could. Now, if you don't know how to prioritize, let me help you with 2 questions to ask yourself. 1, is building relationships with teenagers important to you? If you answer no, then there's no need to waste any more time watching these videos. But if you answered yes, then the next question is really going to challenge you. And this is question number 2. How much time will you dedicate in a day or a week or even a month to making that happen? You see, like in any relationship, you need to intentionally work at it. And in order to do that, you must intentionally allocate time to doing that. So how much time, I ask again? You might say, how am I supposed to answer that question? It's like me asking you how long is a piece of string? Nobody knows until they see it. You see, the critical thing when it comes to prioritizing comes down to one single thing. How much time are you going to allocate to it? I can't do that for you because I don't know what time you have available to you. You have to decide how much time amongst all the other things in your life you are willing to allocate to intentionally build that relationship. But it doesn't have to be hours a day. It could just start out as a few minutes, perhaps in the car on the way to school. But you must start out intentionally taking the time, positioning yourself to interact with teenagers. It's not going to happen by accident. I will discuss how to allocate meaningful time to building better relationships with teens in some of my other videos. So look out for those. And then the third thing the letter P represents is picture. Jesus had a big picture idea of what he was put on the earth to do, and everything he did was to fulfill that big picture. In order to build better relationships with teenagers, we must have a picture of what that might look like. This is very difficult if you are just starting out, because I have a very good idea of how I see those relationships turning out, because I have seen the products and the product relationships for many years now. Let me help you with that. Picture what spending time with teenagers might entail for you. A chat in the car in the mornings, before school. Relaxed discussion around the dinner table. Those are scenarios. What about the specifics? Like what discussions might be taking place about their worlds, about their friends, their feelings or their frustrations? What life lessons you might be able to share with them? How grateful they will be for your input someday, you hope. How will it feel for you to have made a positive difference in their lives? Those are all questions that you can think about that will hopefully help you create your own picture of what building a better relationship with teenagers will entail. So let me wrap up the P in plan. It represents position, priority, and picture. If you have liked this video and found it challenging, click the thumbs up below. Remember, not so difficult. In the comments section below, perhaps suggest what your picture of spending time building better relationships with teenagers would look like. Share that with others. If you think someone can benefit from the knowledge I'm giving you, share it with someone else. Okay. And don't forget to subscribe, of course. And here is the bonus tip, because I said there was a bonus tip. You see, when Jesus came to fulfill his mission, he had to make a sacrifice. He paid the ultimate price. He sacrificed his own life. When I was coaching at school, it took a lot of time away from my family. I knew that because I had seen the picture before. It was a massive sacrifice, and the teenagers that I coached knew that and appreciated that. And that always added value to the relationship building process. So the final tip is this: you will need to consider and acknowledge the sacrifices you will need to make it a priority, to position yourself, to paint the picture of a better relationship with teenagers. And that's it. Thanks so much for taking your valuable time and making it a priority to watch my video and taking the first step to developing a plan to build better relationships with teenagers. I'll leave you with some questions to think about, which you can check out in the description section below the video. Perhaps share some of your answers to those questions too in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're updated as to when I'm releasing my new videos. So until next time, think about how you are going to make building a better relationship with teenagers a priority in your life. Cheers.